I am with Shane. I'm going to mess up the name of your business. Handyman of Brighton, is that correct?
Handyman Connection of Brighton.
Han-
Yeah,
Handyman Connection of Brighton. Um,
you're
and,
close enough
and
there.
and so I'm glad you're here. This is an interview of members with the Brighton Business Builders. And how long have you been a member, Shane? It's not been too terribly long, right?
I it was in like December that I joined. Probably.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
And the Brighton Business Builders is part of the Brighton Chamber of Commerce. So this is one of the benefits of being in the Brighton Business Builders is you get interviewed by nerds like me. It could have also been Samantha, but you got me. Unlucky you. Um, so I want to start by you haven't been Handyman Connection of Brighton forever. So can you tell us sort of what led up to being this?
Yeah. So I was a superintendent for a large commercial general contractor um in town here. His name was Gerald Phipps. If people know him, it's because he owned the Broncos. But some Bronco fans know who he is, some don't. Um, So I worked there as a superintendent for 37 years. It was a great place to work, a great company to work for. They they did a really good job taking care of me. But um, after doing it for 37 years, I just kind of got sick of doing it. I used to love doing my job, and then I got to where I hated it. And that's when I just started thinking about, well, what else could I do? And then 37 years in, that's a whole career. I'm only 55. I could still start something else. So that's what we did. Um, not probably the safest bet would have been just stay with the corporate safety blanket around me for until I retired, have that much long to go, but I just wasn't happy no more. So I wanted to I just wanted to do something else. I just was burned out. I was killing myself at the old place, you know. I would do most of their bigger jobs, I'd be doing $50, $100 million jobs. I mean, they were year and a half long projects and they were very intense. And I just got kind of, after the fun of it, kind of, the excitement of, just building cool stuff. And then after that, for a while, it's just like, I don't care anymore. It's just not fun. It's got to be a very political game. You're dealing with clients that really care about money and the schedule, and it just kind of wore on me. So started
And
this.
and and so you went from that to your current thing, the handyman thing, yes. And so what made you think an entrepreneurial pursuit was the right way to play it, right? There were probably plenty of other corporations you could have gone to,
And
your
I could have
experience.
went somewhere else and worked, but it's still the same game anywhere else. I mean, the superintendent position is just, I mean, it's a hard position. You're in charge of a lot, you know. Everything that goes wrong on the project's your fault. There's 300 guys that can screw up stuff, and it's all your fault if one of them does something wrong.
Yep.
Um, you're in control of the budget, you're in control of everything, and it's a lot of pressure. It's a high stress job.
And
Not that this isn't.
was there an entrepreneurial itch you wanted to scratch?
Um, I think I just got to where I want to do something different, and I figured I want to kind of get out of construction, but not really, you know. Um,
Use your skills and your knowledge, but in a way you were happy with.
yeah, because let me tell you just a little bit more about my past a little bit. Um, so I started with the company as an apprentice carpenter and worked my way up the ranks until I was a superintendent. And um, I started out at Children's Hospital, at the old Children's Hospital downtown, and worked on a big new building there. And then I never left for 14 years. I stayed there and I helped the next guy. When that big building got done, there was always something else to do. And hospitals are perpetual construction projects. They never stop. they've always got something going, most, so you would remodel a wing and move one person from that wing over to here, and then you just remodel where they move from. You just keep chasing that around all for 14 years. And, and it would be the same pattern, you remodel a floor or whatever, you do two of those, and you build a new building, you do some more remodels, and then you build another building. But they very much appreciated us, the hospital did. And it made you feel good working there, So once I left there, I went to go build their new hospital. So I didn't even really leave children's. I went to the new hospital. That took another 3.5 years to build their new hospital. And then, but it was with a client I, really liked, and they, appreciate us. We did good work for them. They treated us good. And then, and then I went to then children's, then I moved on and I turned into like their lab guy, and I went and built a bunch of high-tech labs and stuff, and then got into more of the real general public, the build, the other corporations that didn't care about anything. When Children's Hospital, the only thing the bottom line ever cared about was a kid. So good for a kid, bad for a kid. Okay, good for a kid. Okay, spend the money. It was, and then the rest of the other world was a lot different. It was kind of scummy. It was just not fun. Like get it done as cheap and fast as you can, and we don't care about nothing but getting it done on time and on under budget.
Yep.
And they were just not fun people to work with.
I was a program manager inside the Department of Defense infrastructure, so I understand the whole cost, schedule, performance balancing act, and it's really cost schedule performance. Excellent. All right. So then you decide you're going to go out on your own, and your Handyman Connection of Brighton, which when I looked that up, I saw other Handyman Connections. So
it's a franchise.
It is a franchise. And as a franchisee, they're doing some things for you, and you're doing the rest of the things.
They help. I mean, it's my business. They don't really
Yep.
have anything running my business day to day or anything. I mean, they offer lots of help. If you ask them, they have a problem, they can't say no. If you ask them for some help, they figure out a way to help you. Whatever it is that you try. They're there to help you be successful, because it's, if you're successful, they're successful, right?
Yep.
They get their royalty fees, right? So they want you to do good. So they try to help you do good. And that's the reason why we went the franchise and not just start my own business. I thought maybe a little safer. The franchise, they've got, it's a plan. Follow the plan, everything should work out, right?
And I'm assuming it came with some marketing help and with some tech help.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Nope, they got a marketing director. They set up all their computer systems were already in place,
Yeah. Because that's actually a big pain in the butt to put something in place to handle what you do. So
now, after a year of experience, I would have not went that way. I would have went the other way, but I didn't know what I didn't know a year ago,
Exactly. So expand on that. How long have you been Handyman Connection of Brighton now?
We opened up in December 12th of last year.
Okay.
So
and so now you're a year and 2 months in.
Couple months, yeah.
Yeah. Would you say Brighton's a good place to be a handyman? Has it worked out?
It is, and we do a lot more than just Brighton. We go we go all the way, we go south this I-70, and east or west we go to Louisville. We don't go to Boulder, it's too far.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a dozen cities we work in still, so more on this north end of town.
Yeah.
But Brighton has been my best customer base. I can run reports that show me, how much work I did in this zip code and that zip code and that zip code. Brighton's always the best. A little bit surprising, because we have some other places that are pretty good to work in too. Broomfield, Louisville, Lafayette, Them are all, we do a lot of work. Erie, do a lot of work in Erie. But
Yep.
Brighton's always been our best as far as the amount of work we do here still. Not by tons, but a little bit.
So I got to ask, because you do the kind of things that I would argue I am too old to go do, and maybe not skilled enough to do in certain, like if it involves electrical, I'm not going to touch it. Is there a typical job? Like you get called to do X more often than anything
No,
else?
we like one area that we are good at and we very successful at, and our clients are real happy with us, is these small bathroom remodels. I mean, if I could just do those, I would just do those forever. But we do any call that we get. We don't. If it's a 1 hour job, we go and do it. If it's a 2 week job, we go do it.
Are you all the touch labor, or do you have people too?
I have people, yeah. So I don't. I try hard not to do much of anything. When I very first started out, I was having to do some just because I wasn't busy enough to have a whole bunch of guys, but that's worked itself out for the most part. And
Yep.
now it's rare I'll do a job. If I do a job now, it's usually a smaller job, that I can go get done in an hour or something. Because it's hard on my guys when you send them to an hour job, and then
Yep.
they got to drive to another job, and you try to put 3 or 4 of those small jobs together, but they don't like them. You know,
Yep.
um, it's they're driving around. They're not making the same money they would be working if they were working on a bigger job where they were on that one job all day or a couple of days or whatever. So I tend to step in and try to take care of some of them small ones.
Yep. So I got a bucket list of things that 10 years ago I would have done. And but I'm too old and broken to do them now, and especially since I don't have teenagers here anymore to help carry things around. What would be the process of having you come take a look at them and say, okay, these are the timelines, these are the costs. How's that go?
Well, there's different ways our customers they can just pick up the phone and call us and schedule. We offer everybody a free estimate. Some estimates we'll do virtual. It depends if it fits. I mean, if someone wants to put a shelf up on a wall, and they say, well, I want a 4 foot shelf, and they can send us a picture and say, I want to put a 4 foot shelf here. I don't need to drive out there to go see that. I can do it and that way they don't have to wait for me to come, I don't have to inconvenience them to come out and do an estimate, or I don't have to drive out there. But most of our estimates, we come and do it in person.
Yep.
There's certain ones that make sense not to. COVID kind of helped the franchise figure that out a lot better, because they were having like, okay, what do we do? So they kind of started try to do a lot more virtual estimates, and a lot of stuff you can do with some pictures. Some things you need to get around and crawl around and look at.
All
Any
right,
bigger
I'm going to give
job.
you an example of one then, if that's all right.
You
I got a
bet.
sliding glass door that goes out to my back deck, and it's completely misbehaving. And I've taken it off the rollers in the past, and the rollers are broken. So I need to replace the sliding glass door. I think I'm going to do it with French doors, swinging doors, right? Is that one you'd have to come take a look at, or you can figure that out
For
on your own?
generally for those because we do enough of those kind of door replacements. We do quite a bit.
Yeah.
A lot of them are what we call boyfriend doors, where boyfriend kicks a door in and we have to run out and fix it, replace it.
I promise
It
that was
happens
not
a
the case
lot.
here.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
And but so we've come up with a standard price. It's $1,200 to change the door, and then
The price of the new door.
and then the door. Yeah,
Now, if
depends
I
on
were to
because you
do
can
that with
spend.
you, do you take care of getting the door, or do I do it?
We work it both ways. We encourage our customers to if they have the means, if they want to save a little money, then they can go buy the materials, because we don't go shop for free.
Yep.
This isn't it's you're paying a personal shopper to go buy your stuff, right?
Yep.
And most people can't afford that. but with construction materials, it's different, right? Some things like the French doors, if you don't have a big truck, you're not getting it home,
Yep.
unless you have it delivered or whatever,
Yep.
you know. But if we are, I'd say half the jobs we buy materials and half the jobs the customers buy. This depends if some people just don't want nothing to do with it. And they're willing to pay a little bit of markup,
Yep.
knowing I'm honest with them. So we mark up our materials, so
So
but
if I
everybody
were to
does.
go into Lowe's and Home Depot and buy the replacement door, they would offer installation. Is that a thing you
They
play
would,
in
and
where
we
you
do some we actually we're on Home Depot's list too. We do work for them all the time.
okay.
Not as much. It's been a little slower with them lately, and a lot of the times the Home Depot, it's a free service when we have accounts with them and stuff. So customers looking for work, they have a list of people that can do stuff. I'm on that list.
Okay. But
So
just Home Depot, not Lowe's also.
I haven't done Lowe's. Lowe's is they have a different setup, and it's not one I'm interested in dealing with. It's a little different.
Okay. No need to go into that. So let's talk about the BBB. First off, why did you join? Who dragged you into this?
Other owners in the franchisor, I mean, they encourage it. It's all about trying to generate leads, right? And you start off on Angie because it's an easy aggregator, right? You can just turn it on and it starts. You turn it on and you start getting calls.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's expensive. It's very expensive. So I'm just trying to find, other avenues to find leads, that are free or cheap leads,
Yep.
a membership to the chamber and the BBB is not a lot of money, over a year.
Well,
And
and
if
were you a chamber member before you
No, I
discovered the
wasn't. I joined the
BBB or
chamber. Yeah, I joined the chamber at the same time. So I joined the chamber, and then is it Natalie?
yes.
Yeah, yeah. And then I met with Natalie, and had a little interview with her, and she said, "Well, looks like BBB would be a good fit for you." And I'm actually in two. I'm in BBB and I'm in B4BR. But she led me to them.
Yep. So
And
now that you've been in BBB, you're probably starting to see that it is less about pure leads and more about relationships across business owners in Brighton. And I'd like your thoughts on what it is to be in BBB.
Well, what I think about what I feel like is when I'm out doing my business, I'm always trying to think about my BBB partners, and if I run across anything that smells like something they'd be interested in, I'm looking for it. Where normally I wouldn't care. It's like I'm only out for me. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
anymore. I'm out for everybody else. So if I can find somebody else, a customer, while I'm out doing my business, then hooray for them.
Yep.
And vice versa. Some people would never. Well, in handyman business, I didn't say that argue that anybody in this entire country's got something needs fixed in their house. You know, even
Indeed,
some of the best
I have my
maintained.
bucket list.
Yeah, I know
Uh,
everybody's got a list of stuff. And um, so my potential customers are just about anybody who owns a house, right? So,
yep.
but um, but I'm um, but like I said, I'm trying to think of how to promote other people. I'm out there doing my business and hoping that other people are doing the same for me. That's how I treat BBR or BBB.
Yep. I describe BBB to people that I'm telling about it is it's a collection of friends who also happen to own and operate businesses in Brighton. Um, and if that sounds like a fun group to be part of, then you're going to enjoy being part of BBB. If you're just looking for a leads group where you're just trying to get cards of people that go in your call list, then
Oh, no,
maybe it won't be.
yeah, no, I
Um,
see that because you get friends with these people, and that's the first people you want to think about. That's who you
yep.
think about when something happens, right? Oh yeah, I know I know a good realtor,
Yep.
I know this, I know an insurance person, um, and just in general life, people, as you talk to people, things come up, and it's nice to be able to have somebody that and are friends
Yes.
with that you can refer them to. It's like, yeah, this
Right.
guy can take care of you if you want, and try to give him a call.
And you'll feel good about referring because you've built a
Hmm.
relationship with them over time.
Yeah, I mean, I just gave my friend some work, and hopefully it's, goes all the way around. That's everybody's kind of goal, is to try to help everybody, right? That's my goal, is try to help everybody. And in the meanwhile, I hopefully I get a little bit of help too. That's how I look at
Nice.
it.
Very good. Um, and your service area is certainly big enough to include my neighborhood. So now if one of my neighbors says, "Oh, I got to get this done," because they're all getting old like me, I can go, "Well, I know a guy." All right. Any parting thoughts, words of wisdom for entrepreneurs in Brighton? Anything you want to share about your entrepreneurial journey? The floor is
It's
yours.
a lot harder than I expected it to be. You wear a lot of hats.
Yep,
I mean, hopefully someday I'm growing enough, business grows enough that I can get other people to wear some of them hats. But
I
for
feel
now,
that.
it's mostly me and my wife and our craftsmen. So
Yep, I definitely feel that. I cannot wait for my software business to get big enough that I am not the designer because I'm not a designer.
Mhm.
But right now, I'm the designer, the artsy person, if you want to think of
Yeah,
it
well,
that
yeah,
way
you're
in
the
the
designer, you're HR, you're
yeah.
payroll, you're everything,
Based
right?
on
Yeah.
I'm everything other than writing the code that my guys write so that our software works. Um, and I'm as soon as I can hire somebody, designer is first. Uh, as soon as you can hire somebody, what's going to be first? Not another
Probably
tradesman.
probably a yeah, tradesmen. We always have to have those, right? And
Right,
we have, how many we have is based on how much work we have.
right.
And generally what I do is, when I get booked out like 2 weeks, then I hire someone else.
Yep,
People don't want to wait longer than that.
yep.
And that's just kind of been my model, and then just trying to just keep growing. Unfortunately, the winter kind of takes you back down a little bit,
Yep,
because
yep.
this
So what are
business
you going to
slows
go
down a
get when
lot.
you can go get a luxury hire?
A salesperson, basically. I mean, this is still a sales job, right? So
Yeah.
people, we go out and we do estimates and give people an estimate and try to sell the job, right? And
Mm-hmm.
where I do all of that now, so I go to every estimate and do that.
Yep.
I'd like to be so busy that I'm still out doing it, but I can't do it all, so I got another guy doing it as well,
Nice.
right? And
Excellent.
and maybe even where I could step back a little bit more and focus on other parts of the business that need attention instead
So
of.
I've been an entrepreneur since 2005, with the exception of a 3-year period where I went and did a corporate thing. And one of the learning points is everything costs 2 times as much and takes 3 times as long as you thought it would. Um, and that has proven out, especially taking 3 times as long as you thought it would. Um, and building your book of business and getting to the point where you are now, where you have people who call you with some regularity, right? That probably took longer than you thought it would.
Yeah, but I'm surprised how much we have. I mean, last month, half of our customers were repeat customers, which is
And
good.
that's going to continue to be true.
Mhm.
Repeat and referral is going to be your
Yeah.
bread and butter.
And then that's another way you also, to wean off of the lead aggregators that are ridiculously expensive,
Yeah.
I did being in a business owner, my eyes were opened up to what the world of advertising really is, and
Yep.
it's all about money, and then
Yep.
they make a lot of it.
And they get you great buckets of what may have little trinkets of usefulness in it.
Oh, and the Angie lead, I mean, we get a standard, just if it's a somewhat decent sized job, that's probably an $80 lead
Yeah.
to me. And that's if I, and that's just as soon as they click my name. and I can call them 500 times and never talk to them, and I still pay
Yep.
the money. I pay the money
Yep.
first. It's never no guarantee I'm not ever going to get to talk to anybody, and it happens a lot. You know,
Yep.
you get a lot of people who just waste your money that um, they went and clicked your name, and then nothing you can do to ever talk to them.
Yep.
It's like, what the hell were you doing? Drunk at
Yep.
night and just screwing around or what? You know,
Yep.
because you
I
cost
was
me
just
money.
wondering what it would cost to do this thing. Not that I'm going to
I
spend the
would
money
be
to do
happy
it.
if I could understand if yeah, they would just talk to us. Yeah, just never answer the phone, reply to a text or an email.
Yep.
Because we try to hit people about 9 times if they don't call us. You know, we text them, we call, text, and email 3 separate times at least to try to people that we've paid to, you know, that they've chosen us to do work and
Yep.
don't answer phone. We bug them pretty good. You know, we spend a pretty good
Have you
money.
gotten any warm or hot leads out of the BBB?
A little bit, not just a couple of stuff, a couple of small things, but that it's an
Got to start
investment of
somewhere.
time. Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to take, it takes time, but I do see traction building. That's positive because, you know, a couple of months in, I'm like, yeah, I don't know, this is really getting nothing out of this, you know,
Yep.
but I know that eventually it will, you know, it just takes time to get to know people, and, you know, you know your people in there, and they
Yep.
get to where they trust you and don't have a problem to refer you, you know, and it takes some time
Or
to
even
build all
just
that.
think of you, right? You're
Hmm.
my friend, the handyman. And it takes more than a couple meetings for them to go, oh yeah, I know that guy.
Hmm. Yep.
Excellent.
But it's starting to build traction. I feel it. So it's, yeah, it's encouraging. It's worth to keep on going, you know. So,
Excellent.
um,
Well, we're glad to have you.